So, hello guys of today to the Rock Nations. We are in amazing company with Stall of Nachtblut. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I'm feeling good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We are here, of course, to talk about Todschick. This is your new album. Um, a new album with dark metal, 80s inspired synthesizer. How did you approach integrating these diverse stylistic elements during the album creation?
It's hard to tell because songwriting always have been natural to us. So there's no strategic planning going on. Like, okay, now we need a song having like an 80 synth vibe. Now we need like a one of those drinking shanty songs, or whatsoever. So I think they just reflect the songs, reflecting what's up in our life at that very moment when we writing the songs. So maybe we were more listening to 80s at that time. And on the other hand, you have songs like the Stirb langsam, which is the shanty song I mentioned, where the music is just, you know,
With folk
building the
elements.
exactly, but the lyrics were the driving factor for that music production or musically for that song because the song is about shanties and how sometimes bands or often alcohol is glorified without any consequences in the end, but maybe you should think twice about it. And so it was obvious for us to sound like one of those shanty bands, who was proclaiming that alcohol and boozing is the best thing in the world. So yeah. So yeah, I would say it's unnatural. Rather it's the lyrics or music, comes in
So
handy and
one of my favorite songs of the album. So I don't speak very well German, so excuse me if the pronunciation is not very good. But one of my
no problem.
favorite song is Das Leben der Anderen.
All right, yeah.
Okay, um, tell us more about this song because the topics, I think, if I understand, it's critical societal issues. Um, about the media, about the social media. Tell us more about the meaning of this of this song.
I think you gave a pretty good summary about that song. So actually, it's about this. We call it like death scrolling. Like the infinite scrolling on social media, and what it does to you. I mean, you don't even have to be like fragile in your personality to get hooked up by the social media game. I would call it like this. I mean, so many influencers out there, and you're scrolling and you see them like I don't know, they are on holidays like the whole year. They never have to work, they have the nicest cars, they have like 3 million real friends, true friends, obviously, because everyone knows them and so on. They have the best parties, they have the best lifestyle ever you can imagine. And often, I mean, you're forgetting that this is often staged and fake, you know. But you're like, okay, I have to chase those influencer lifestyles to become happy for myself, which is BS to be fair, because you should think about your life and your choices and at least in our perspective, centers European wise, I think there's not that much to complain about. You have a great life yourself. You should cherish it more and not chasing fake influencers or certain lifestyles, which you see on social media. So that song is about the down spiral, if you want to call it like that. If you're too much addicted to that, can do pretty much uh, not just harm, it can give you depression.
Yes, but nowadays we can't live without the social media. As a band, for example, it's important to have a lot of friends on Instagram, on Facebook. It's we can't live without. No.
Um, I mean, as a band, I see it on two perspectives. As a band, for example, you need social media because life
Absolutely.
is happening there. But I think there is a difference, at least for me, to use it in a productive way as a band, or to consume it. And we're talking about this consumption of social media. I mean, it's the same with alcohol we just had before. We are not against alcohol at all, you know. If you have a glass of wine from time to time, if you like to party at some point,
Absolutely.
it's
Yes.
totally fair. But the amount of your consumption regarding social media, alcohol, whatsoever, this is what, yeah, at the end makes it poison for you or lethal or whatsoever. So this is what we, you know, we just want to give a hint to listeners, like, hey, maybe think about it twice. You don't, you know, demonize it, but think about the consequences. Everything comes to within a cost, you know, within the price.
Who bring the main ideas of the lyrics or and the music? Is it a collective way of working on the band, or is just someone that write the lyrics, someone who write the songs?
It's mainly our singer, like Afgarod, who's doing the lyrics and music. So there's just a few exceptions, which is not coming out of his hand, if you want his handwriting. So, but we're talking about topics a lot. Like, okay, you know, that is driving me at the moment. Or, hey, don't you consider that topic would be a good song, you know, something like this. And if it comes then to music, often the demos are from Askarot, and they were starting talking about the demo. Like, okay, we like that one. What is this? You know, maybe we don't get that at that point. And so, you know, we come together, and at some point there is going to be the pre-production where we're not just talking about the demo, but we're going to start to work on those demos. For me as a drummer, you know, he's a keyboard player, so he's programming some drums, but maybe there is a different approach than a drummer would play the drums at that part. So for me, I'm talking about, hey, maybe consider that groove, maybe we do a fill here, maybe halftime, you know, those musical influences. The same for guitar and bass. And once that is done, we hit the studio with a pretty much done pre-production.
Absolutely. So you talk about on the lyrics about war and destruction. For example, the song "Manchmal kommen sie weiter." I don't know if
Oh,
the
pretty
pronunciation
good.
is
Yeah.
good. So you're talking about war. What is your opinion about what is happening in the moment in the world? Trump, Ukraine. What is your opinion about those things? Some some newspapers are talking about the new civil war, a new world war. So, what's your opinion about that? And I think that this song talked about war and destruction.
Um, my point of view, I can just speak for me personally here. Honestly, I'm not afraid of a third world war. I tried not to catch up those sometimes bit like panicking news. But yeah, I mean it's a huge topic. We're probably not gonna answer this in a few sentences. So, what is Trump doing now? I don't know. Like, yeah, I really don't know how to judge this. You know, like now he's at least I read that he's now stopping supporting Ukraine, and yeah, I mean it's pretty stupid, I think. Like, but on the other hand, you have to understand, I mean, how he's acting, I think his whole life, he's always working with pressure. So obviously, if you consider that move, he was successful, obviously, because now Ukraine is coming back to his table and being like, okay, didn't mean it that way, you know, on a Friday on the press conference. So a big a topic which I didn't want to give a final speech about or a final result. It's too big. Regarding the song, I mean, yeah, it's like the title says, you know, everything is repetitive. Everything comes in circles, and the song is about that humanity, mankind, you know, that they're creating something but mostly beautiful, maybe, and then they start destroying it, you know, and they never learn about it. They never get, you know, they never learn out from their mistakes. They just repeat it and repeat it again, you know, war after war. They never learn from it. You can other civilizations, you know, that they're rising and then they're gone. They never learn out of the failures. I mean, just get your history done, you know, like So that's basically the song about it, that everything's repetitive and people seem not to learn or not willing to learn. Let's put it this way, because I mean, obviously they don't want to. I believe they have the capacity or are capable of learning, but obviously on this point, we're on lost ground somehow.
So let's talk about the collaborations on this album. You have Frank Herzig and Eric Fish that collaborate with you. Tell us more about the, the collaboration begin with them.
So the idea was behind of that, because if there's a German singing band, people are like, okay, do people understand your music out of a non-German speaking country? I mean, the easiest answer to that is like they have Google Translator. Obviously, somehow they can get what the song is about. But going a bit deeper, I think you don't need to understand the lyrics word by word to get the atmosphere, the feeling of a song. So it's the same for me. I don't know if, for example, Icelandic Sigur Rós, they have a fantasy language to me, but I get the vibe of that song. You know, is it sad? Is it happy? Is it, you know? So we said like, okay, could be an interesting experiment, because our 7 friends, you named them, some of them already, like Eric or Chris or Fakey. We just sent them our music without lyrics, no information at all, no title, nothing, just the music, and let them do whatever they like with that. Write lyrics to that, do whatever you like. So these are the 7 songs on the bonus CD,
Bonus tracks,
which
exactly.
which is was pretty fun to see how they react. I mean, some are more obvious, like the Schneller als der Tod, which is kind of like Western film music influenced, you know. So obviously Eric also did something like regarding Western, you know, cowboys, and so that was obvious. But some other songs, you know, we were surprised how they turned out, like what the lyrics are they seeing in that music.
Right. Let's talk about the cover, the artwork cover of the album Todschick. Can you explain the symbolism behind the imagery and what it relates to the album's topics?
The album, I mean, it's obviously it's a corpse getting dressed up or made up nice, and kind of represent our ritual we do live. Because I mean, Todschick is like a word game in German. You know, someone is Todschick if someone is that serious, beautiful, like something is extravagant. You know,
Okay.
so that's a word game, and there's a song, and the so the Todschick song also referred to a conversation we had to someone who's not familiar at all with the scene. And he was like, okay, why do you dress up like you do? And if you put on the makeup, you look like a corpse, you look like you're dead. And we're like, oh, wait, here we go. Like, you know, because if we dress up live before the show, we see it like a ritual to celebrate our music. I mean, for us, it's very special to share that music live with fans, to get in a real direct interaction. And so we see it more like, you know, if someone else has an anniversary or you have like a big party which is very important to you, what do? You dress up nicely. Maybe you put on some makeup, something like this. So it's the same for us. So back to the cover, it represents pretty much the same. You know, it's a beautiful woman, which is, even when she's dead, she's nicely put on makeup and probably later gonna be dressed up. So this is the uh direct meaning of the album artwork, like word by word.
Um, let's talk about touring, because usually after the release of the album, there's also a live moment for the band. So, what can we expect from the new shows? Obviously, I think new songs, but tell more about what the fans can have when you will play live.
I mean, never change the winning team. So obviously you can enjoy new songs, obviously old songs, just have a good time with us, headbanging, heavy guitar riffs. I think right now on tour we have a new light setup. I mean, a lot of things changed, the whole appearance of the band. So you never, as a fan, I would be bored if the band is repeating itself all the time. But also as a band, I can say that repetitively touring is or shows are not quite fun to us. So there's a lot of new stuff going on, new show elements, which obviously I don't spoil now, but you come to the show and watch. Yeah, I think that's a quintessence, and I think it's already sounds good to join us. So
You will, I think you looked at the at this the tour. I didn't see Frank French gig, mainly German. So do you plan to come in France?
yeah, right now it's like a German speaking tour, let's put it this way, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Um let's put it this way, there is more in the planning, which I can't spoil right now, but obviously I mean we have been to France, and fans in France always have been really really nice to us. So it would be a shame not to come back at some point.
But there will be some surprise, probably.
So, sorry?
Probably we will have a surprise.
Yeah, there will be a surprise at some point, obviously, and you don't spoil surprises.
Okay, no problem. So thank you very much for all this information about the new album. It's a great album, Todschick. I remember for all our listeners, and we hope you to see, of course, here in France one day.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the nice interview.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.